Why does the church still teach that being LGBTQ is a sin, even though the commonly quoted Bible verses say no such thing and homosexuality was added to the Bible in 1946? Why do they keep hurting people? I'm answering your question. Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm a deep skeptic, also a pastor. First off, all churches don't teach this, and at the end, I'll tell you how to find the many churches that don't, that are near you. So I've observed many reasons over my years, both personal and institutional, and true confession, I taught this for years and years. And so let me tell you my reason first. So from the time I was really young, I was taught that this was the only correct interpretation of the Bible from many people who I was told to respect and trust. And so when you do that, when you indoctrinate somebody for that long, they just believe it. And that means that it's coming from a genuine and often good-hearted place, because the other thing that I was taught over and over again is all of these people are going to hell. And so if I really was empathetic, if I really cared about them, then I would try to save them from eternal conscious punishment. And it wasn't until I was given the tools to evaluate sources at an academic level that I was able to see that this was not the way the Bible really taught. So that was the reason that I did it. And I hurt people. I harmed people by teaching that, even though I also spent a lot of my life during that time protecting queer kids and giving them a place to make their own decisions. It still keeps me up at night sometimes. Psychologically speaking, teachings like this can create group cohesion and identity. When the teachings create an us versus them, the us is tied more deeply and strongly together. And when you begin to challenge and change those beliefs, it can begin to release the glue that is holding it all together. Another reason, also psychological, is when you're deeply invested in a belief, admitting you're wrong can create internal conflict, and it's easier to double down on the belief than deal with that internal conflict. When leaders tie obedience to salvation and the version of morality that they have chosen to promote, they maintain really intense control over people, a whole wide range of things, including their money. And when people begin to question and challenge beliefs about human sexuality, those leaders and those institutions begin to lose control, and who knows what other beliefs they might begin to challenge. And then less insidious, people will begin to tie biblical truth to cultural values, and then because they want to pass down biblical truth, will pass that down from generation to generation, and that creates a long history of this belief within a community that goes beyond the truth itself and the problem of tying the biblical truth to the cultural norm, and challenging it challenges much more than just the belief. And then there's purity culture, which is damaging in all kinds of different ways. But purity culture is obsessed with sexual sin and has an enormous amount of anxiety produced by the purity culture teachings around sexual sin, and teaching that queer people are evil and sinful is a useful scapegoat for their anxiety around sexual sin. Now, there's a selection bias here. This is just the ones that I've observed. There are many, many others, but I promise to tell you how you can find one of the many churches that do not teach this and do not believe this. The one that is my go-to is an organization called Reconciling Ministries Network. They are really helpful because they have a locator, but churches that have gone through these locators, and some of them are small groups that have gone through these through this process, actually have gone through an active process of studying this, figuring out exactly what they believe, and sort of submitting things to this organization to verify that they have committed to this. It's a smaller group. if you can't find things there, there's another another website you can go to called gaychurch.org, and that place maps all of the different locations for denominations that don't believe that onto a map. And so there's many more, even though each individual church has not made that commitment. They're part of a denomination that doesn't believe that. So why does the church teach this? Not all churches do. And if you are a person of faith, I feel like it is important to find a faith community that is not actively harming the LGBTQ community. So I hope this helps.